Hey everybody, welcome back to another Godzilla Battle Line video, and today we're talking about Super Mechagodzilla as a unit. What do I think of him? I gave my thoughts the other night on stream. I'm here to give you a little bit of a breakdown today. So, first things first, we'll go over his stats, because I think they're pretty important to this character and understanding really how to utilize him properly. He is a long-range character, alright? So he has an attack speed of 3.6 seconds, which I think is a little too high for him. I would probably bring it down to a 3.3, and he would probably still be pretty balanced. I think the 3.6 is a bit aggressive, but he is pretty decent, so take that as you will. I would prefer maybe if he's a little quicker, especially for the vote winner of the third vote poll. He's got to have a faster attack than 3.6. Come on. His search range is wide. He can target leaders, ground units, aerials, and facilities. He has long reach. He is a very fast movement speed. Or I say very fast. He's fast movement speed, but he's wasting no time getting across that board. All right. Now, he has a slow effect when he uses his beam, and the slow effect is 4.5 seconds. When he hits you with the beam, the enemy is slowed for 4.5 seconds. His effect range is medium, and his range damage when he's first deployed, so that's when Garuda comes down and shoots, it's like 200, it's like 120 points less than what his basic attack is. So, thoughts on him at the moment. I'm enjoying him a lot. I think that his range in this current meta is extremely useful. There's a lot of Earth running around. There are a lot of kind of close combat fighters, like the Mechagodzilla, or now the new alternate Godzilla 54. There's the classic Godzilla 54 that has the rented level boosts. The Leo is still very popular. Fourth Angel is very popular. For some reason, King Caesar is coming back, and I'm seeing a ton of Burning Godzillas, probably because of the challenges for the fragments. Super Mechagodzilla is really, really good at support. He is not your main damage dealer. He is by no means a Waka replacement. He's not a Godzilla 1954 replacement. He's not an Earth replacement. He reminds me a lot of Ultraman when Ultraman first released. A very powerful ranged fighter that really was just there to support your team and do damage, not be the main damage dealer. And that's kind of the vibe I get from him. His health is pretty decent. I mean, mine is right now level 16 that's rented. And his health is 3006. His range damage is 730. Like, those are pretty decent stats. But he's not like Destroya. He's not coming in and just cleaning house. His range is really far, so he can kind of afford to sit behind your main push, and every 3.5 seconds, 3.5 plus 1, so 3.6 seconds, he hits your enemy with a slow for like it's nearly a 5-second slow. It's phenomenal. And it's piercing. It's really good. And he sits outside of most leader ranges. I believe leaders like Ultima will reach him. I think Gamera will reach him. And Super Mechagodzilla will probably reach him as well. The long-range leaders are going to have a field day with him. But regular leaders like G89, as you can see right here, you can't really stop him. The slow is great. The range is great. The piercing is great. I really do enjoy this kit. I have two major complaints with Super Mechagodzilla, and it's kind of annoying. The first is Garuda. The Garuda animation looks awesome. I'm a big fan of the Garuda animation. The thing I don't like about it is that you just kind of have to watch it for 5 seconds, and it just totally, utterly blocks out like 80% of the screen. And if you're in a pinch and you drop Super Mechagodzilla for the first time, oh well, because Garuda's just going to block everything on your screen. We had an incident on stream Tuesday night or Monday night or whatever it was, where I dropped him and I couldn't see what was going on, and when the animation went away, like, a bunch of enemies are right up in my face, and I couldn't even see them. I couldn't react to them properly, so I'm packing Kamacuras alongside Mechagodzilla, because just in case that happens again, I will be a little bit more prepared. That is, I think, actually super detrimental to the player. Blocking your own screen for 80 seconds is ridiculous. The other thing I don't like is it is obviously, if you read, which I know for SGBL players, it's a difficult task. If you read his kit, he isn't like a flying character. Yet he hovers in the match. So people can get confused. Maybe they think he's a flying unit, and then when the Kamakuras start ganging up on him, you get a little confused. I think it's not super clear that he's not a flying unit. I think maybe they should put in his kit. Maybe it says like ground unit or something like that. It's just a minor thing. It's not really a super big deal, but people in my chat on stream were confused about it. Now, how I've been using Super Mechagodzilla, as you can see from the games, I'm kind of putting him away from where my main offense is, so I'm not really putting him right up with Earth. I'm kind of putting him to the side of Earth, just so like the enemy can target Earth and Super Mechagodzilla can kind of pick them off. However, you could get away with putting Super Mechagodzilla like behind Earth, but then you run the risk of their Super Mechagodzilla or their Earth piercing through yours. So the main deal is he's obviously not the main damage dealer. Just keep him away from, the fight. He operates in a very similar way that Godzilla Ultima operates in. Very good at dealing damage from long range, but once the battle gets right up in his face, it's over for him, right? So, have your push, your Leo, your regular Mothra, Destroyer, whatever, and then drop him behind them. He's a 6 cost. I forget if we mentioned that already earlier in the video or not, but he's a 6 cost. That's a very valuable spot right now. There's a lot of really good 7 cost units and a lot of really good 6 cost units. Mostly all the good units are 5 cost. If Super Mechagodzilla was a 5 cost, maybe with a little bit less attack speed, like a 3.3, 3.4, something like that, he probably would be meta. I think he is a little expensive for the damage that he outputs. He doesn't output a ton. He's mostly at this time being used for the piercing and the stun. Like he's like supporting your push. He isn't the push. He's supporting the push. I've been pairing him alongside Earth, and he's just been able to chunk away at some of the other characters that are too busy dealing with Earth. I've been using him in the back of pushes against the enemy leaders, and so while the enemy leader and the enemy units are distracted on the main push, which is normally my Biolante, Gigan 04, Leo, Mothra Imago, Super Mechagodzilla kind of sits behind them and just pot shots the enemy leader, and the enemy puts that slowdown, and it's really solid. And he's fast, which is great. I mean, the Tokyo Godzilla 54 also is very fast. And so both of those units, I'm not going to talk so much about the 54 today, but Super Mechagodzilla, don't worry about him not being up with your main push. He will catch up. He is just like pedal to the metal, right? Foot on the gas, the gas pedal is on the floor with him. He just shows up. You drop him, and he's just gonna catch up super quickly. And his range is phenomenal, so he's really gonna have a great time. I don't know what the deal was with him targeting that fourth angel right there, but that is what it is, I guess. Targeting for him, since he has a really long range, as soon as the character gets out of it, like he's not really super good at like keeping the target locked. But he, once he's on a target, it's good night, right? He's gonna really hook it up and help your team just lock it down. It is so nice having a slow in. I'm not gonna say in the meta. I guess this season he probably is in the meta because he's gonna be rentable. But now that all the stun units are like out of here, and for a large majority of players, like no one is really using Kumo. Naraga's not seeing a ton of play because of Earth. Earth is still affected by slows, which is awesome. So that is going to be a really big help having a slow, because it's going to help stop Earth. It's going to help stop some of the bigger pushes and just overall be extremely useful. So what are my final thoughts on him? I think that he is an excellent addition to the game. I think he's going to be a fine addition to your team. Do I think he's going to be meta after this season? Probably not. He is a little too expensive and a little too slow to really make a meaningful meta impact. However, right now it's his featured season. He is rentable. So while we have the bonus levels on him, make the most out of him. I think he's a ton of fun. I by no means do I think he's a bad character. I think he is a really good character. I just don't think he's going to be meta or meta defining. But nonetheless, he is going to be a very good addition to your team. He kind of is floating, for me personally, in the same middle ground that like GMK and Final Wars Godzilla are floating in, where they're like not necessarily required for a win, but if you're packing them in your team, it's not necessarily a bad thing. He's kind of in there. He's not doing as much damage as they are, but he's just like a good unit. He's just like a really solid unit. I like him a lot. I hope that you guys really do enjoy using him, because I'm having a ton of fun, and I'm definitely going to take full advantage of him as a unit and as a leader while he's rented. So that's my thoughts. That's where I'm leaving you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.